Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by using just a traditional foam roller, short one. We're going to put it right underneath both of our ankles. From here, lean back and allow your shoulders to fall down away from your ears. What you don't want to do is tense up your shoulders and keep your shoulders all the way up by your ears while you're doing this, so that you don't defeat the purpose of relaxing the muscles. Start by just rotating your toes side to side. And then from here, let's take that roller up just a little bit higher so it's just in the belly of the muscle, right in the middle of the calf. We're going to take the opposite calf and rotate the toes from right to left. You're gently massaging the muscle of the calf. If you find any particular tender spots right here, you're just going to pause, take a few deep breaths, and see if you can get the muscle to relax. That's the whole goal of foam rolling, is just getting the muscles to relax. And half the battle of that is learning to breathe in and exhale to release, so that you're taking slow, deep breaths rather than finding a tight, tense spot and then maybe tightening up your muscles and holding your breath, which is a gut instinct reaction a lot of times. So, for example, I've got a knot right here I can feel in my calf. I'm going to take a couple big, deep breaths here and just focus on getting that muscle to relax. And then I'll continue to roll through side to side. And it feels a little better. So I'm going to come up a little higher on that same calf. Bring that roller right under the muscle, just below the knee. Again, putting the weight of the opposite leg on that calf and gently moving it from side to side. Check in with your shoulders. See if your wrists are sore from holding that position, and just adjust as necessary. Well, here I found another really tight spot. Now for me, this is a calf that I've torn, so it tends to be pretty stiff here. So I'm going to hold it and take a few deep breaths. Focus on getting that muscle to release. Just go real slow, bringing it back the other way. It's important to understand that everything that we do in foam rolling is completely temporary. It does make us feel better. It's a lot like massage. It's the same concept. It does make us feel better. It gets blood flow to the area, but it's not necessarily fixing anything or breaking up scar tissue or anything like that. It is mostly just to make you feel better, which for most of us, it does seem to make a difference. All right, let's go to the other leg. I'm going to come back towards the middle of that calf muscle, put the weight of the opposite leg, and ooh, there's a spot right away. So I'm going to just stop, take a few deep breaths, and then gently rotate it side to side. And there's a nasty spot right there. So I'm going to stop and take a couple slow, deep breaths. Consciously think about letting that muscle relax. And then beginning to go side to side again, seeing if maybe it feels a little less tense than before. Ooh, it's pretty sore. I'm going to move it down and find that most difficult tension and just kind of target it. Go nice and slow, breathe into it. Remember, it's essentially just massage. Take a few deep breaths. And that feels a little better. So I'm going to take it up, come up a little higher, just below the knee, and begin to rock through on that side. Self-myofascial release, SMR, foam rolling. These are all different names for what is essentially self-massage. That's all we're doing here. We're looking for trigger points, tension, soreness in the muscles, and we're trying to slowly get it to release by breathing into it, consciously thinking about it, and using some soft pressure from the roller. That's all this is. Take another breath right here, wherever you're finding that tense point, and then come back to rolling through side to side. Hopefully it feels a little better. And then we're going to take it up into the hamstrings. So hamstrings, you're going to come on up, hold your body weight up by pushing your hands down into the floor, and just kind of roll from just above the knee up through to the glutes. You might have to walk your hands forward to get a little further forward, but generally this isn't too bad for most people. You're just kind of rolling through those hamstrings. And from here, we're going to go to the spot that almost everybody finds difficult, which is the IT band and the TFL muscle. So we're going to come to one side and get into what is essentially a side plank position, which, by the way, if you're not on a mat, it might actually be easier because the mat tends to get in your way. So from here, we're going to come into a side plank on that roller, and you're going to get right in line with your hip bones. From here, now if this feels like a ton of pressure, it's really tender and really sore, step your top foot over and you'll have a little bit more control of how much weight you're putting down on this roller. If it's okay where it is, go ahead and stack. And then all you're doing here, rotate forward towards your chest and rotate backwards towards your back. Just gently loosening up the muscle that's in contact with the roller right now. Take slow, deep breath. And gently rotate forward and back. And then if this doesn't feel too bad for you, and a lot of people it's not really, then you're going to come a little bit lower down the leg. We're going to start to get into that IT band. Come on over with that top leg, and then you're just going to slowly roll up and down. You're looking for places that are tender. So if you don't find a tender spot, you don't really need to go, up and down continuously. You're just looking for those tender spots, and then gently maybe rotate forward towards the front of the thigh and then back towards the hamstring. You're looking for that tender spot. So for me, it's right here. I'm going to hold it here, move slightly, and take a few deep breaths. For you, your tender spot might be a little further down. So find where it feels sore to you and work it slowly. Breathe. You can also come all the way up to your hand if that feels a little better, takes a little pressure off. Whatever works for you here. If you need to bend this knee and bring it back a little bit to get more into that thigh right along the side, you can do that. Find what works for your anatomy because everybody's a little bit different here. I'm going to stay right here and take a couple breaths because I feel a tender spot. And if you still want to continue working through that area, go ahead and continue while I move on and show you how to get into the glutes. So from here, I'm going to sit up on this roller. The gentlest way to start is to put all your weight into that one glute. So I'm on my left side here, and I'm basically putting all my weight into the left glute, the left cheek here. And I'm just going to go up and down, rolling from the pelvic bones all the way up to where I can feel the hip bones in the back. So you're coming all the way down. You'll feel the little bony structure at the bottom there. You come all the way up just before you get into your low back area. Now, if this feels like almost nothing, you want to get a little deeper in there, you're going to take the leg that you're leaning on. So for me, I'm leaning to the left. I'm going to cross my left ankle over the top of my right thigh, and it just allows me to get a little deeper into those gluteus muscles. again, you're just going really slow. You're looking for tender spots. If you don't have any, just enjoy the sensation of the massage as it comes up and down across that muscle. Now, if you do find a tender spot, just like before, you're going to lean into it, take a few deep breaths, maybe make very small movements, and see if you can consciously focus on that muscle and relax it. Half the battle is mental. Let's get another breath. And then I'm going to come back up and down again, breathing through that. And we're going to do all this on the other side. Now I'm going to roll to the other side and show you from the back what all of this looks like. So let's come completely into a side plank position, either on the hand or on the forearm, whichever works better for you. And again, you can stack your feet or you can cross your top leg over, whichever feels better to you, where you can get into the tender muscles without putting a bunch of strain on your shoulder and the muscles that you're not actually targeting here. You want real gentle movement. Forward towards your chest and then back towards your back. Small movements with slow, deep breaths. Now this side for me is tighter. It's sore. So I'm going to hold it right here and I'm going to breathe into it and consciously think about getting those muscles to relax. I'm trying not to collapse into my right shoulder here. I'm pressing down with my elbow. Take another deep breath. And now let's work from the top of the hip down towards the knee. Coming into that IT band, you can come up onto your hand if you prefer. And just go nice and slow. All it is self-massage. I'm just coming up and down that side. If you find a sore spot, like for me, it's right here. I'm going to stop and I'm going to take a few deep breaths. I might rotate forward and back again. And for me now, this is starting to feel a little bit better. I'm going to come down a little bit again, get closer to the knee, and see if I find anything. Here's one. I'm just going to go real slow towards it. Breathe. And then I'm going to come back to sit on it. So again, just like before, if you're still working through some tender spots there, keep going. I'm going to show you how it looks to get into the glutes from the other side of my body. So now I'm leaning into the right side. All my weight is on that right cheek. And I'm going to start to move from down where I feel that bony structure in the pelvis, all the way up where I'm just below my low back. I have some weight on my right hand, but I'm not sinking into my shoulder. Most of my body weight is focused on the roller here. Now, this feels pretty easy to me. So in order for me to try to get deeper into that muscle, I'm going to cross my right ankle over the top of my left thigh. And I'm going to see if I can feel a little bit more depth here. For me, this isn't a particularly tender spot, so it's not bad. I'm just going to keep rolling through, enjoying the massage. And then from here, we're going to get into our low back. So low back is tricky. This is my favorite roller for the back, period, because of the ridges here. It allows you to get on each side of your spine without actually touching your spine, so you can get into the erector spinae. But even if you don't have that, you can use just a regular roller. The goal here with low back is not to put all your weight into it. So you just put a little bit of gentle weight here, and sometimes you'll get like little teeny tiny, you'll feel it's like your knuckles cracking essentially. And you just roll down just a smidgen at a time. Take a few deep breaths, allow your body weight to do the work, and then roll down. Hold it here. And now you should be, for women, it'll be right in alignment with your bra strap. Otherwise, you can think of it kind of as the base of your rib cage. So that's really where you can put the most pressure on your back, from the base of your rib cage up to the base of your skull. So hands go behind the head to support the head, elbows fall out to the sides. We're going to lift our hips up and focus the weight on the roller as we go from the base of the rib cage all the way up to the tops of the shoulders and back down. Go nice and slow. Again, it's just massage. You're looking for those tender spots. For me, that's just below the shoulder blade, so I'm going to kind of roll through and pause there, focusing my weight and energy on that spot. Elbows are going to fall out to the sides, and take a few slow, deep breaths. See if you can get that muscle to relax. If it doesn't feel like much of anything, maybe pull your elbows up towards the ceiling, pulling the shoulder blades apart from each other. This allows you to get in between those shoulder blades and see if there's any tenderness there. So you're going from the base of the rib cage all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. So from here, one of my favorite ways to roll out, essentially all you're going to do is walk your feet in one direction and your torso will end up crooked on the roller. So right now that roller is perpendicular to your body. We're going to pick our hips up and take 2 steps to the left. What happens then is that the roller is at a diagonal across our back. So the goal here is that as you try to roll, you actually end up rolling at an angle, and that angle should pull one shoulder blade out just a little bit and help you get into that subscapularis and underneath the scapula in those deeper muscles. Experiment with elbows out to the sides and elbows up to the ceiling and see where you're tightest, where your knots are. And when you find those knots, just take a few deep breaths, pause over them, think about allowing them to relax, and then do some soft rolling through. I'm going to get one more here. This side's really not that bad. And then I'm going to take and walk my feet in the opposite direction. So you'll take 2 steps to get back to center, and then you're going to go 2 steps in the opposite direction so that that roller ends up diagonal on your body again. So now we're at an angle on the opposite side, and as we try to make a rolling motion, the roller is at an angle. Again, experimenting with elbows to the ceiling and elbows out to the sides. And if you find a particularly tight spot, you're just going to stay there, take a few deep breaths. You can focus on maybe rotating your torso a little bit, see if you can get in there better. Or maybe hold fast and roll up and down, whatever works better for you. It's going to depend on where you're tight. Sometimes that's how you sleep. Sometimes it's repetitive activities that you do. That determines where you're tight and where you're not. So let's come back to center once you've had enough of that diagonal position. And we're going to come through again, all the way up towards the neck, all the way down towards the bottom of the rib cage before you get into that low back area. Just rolling all the way through. And now we're going to get into a tender spot of the back, right in here, underneath the armpit, and right up against the shoulder blade. This is your lats, it's a portion of your lats anyway, and your teres muscles. We're going to try and get in there and see if there's any tightness there. For a lot of us, there are. So down from the actual armpit, you're not in the armpit, you're just below it. Again, for women, it kind of aligns with your bra strap, just above the base of your rib cage now. So if you find the base of your rib cage, which is down here for most of us, near our waist, and you go up about 2 to 4 inches, depends on how long your torso is, you're going to find that real tender spot. And all you're going to do here, knees are bent, your top arm is straight, and you're just going to rotate towards your chest and towards your back. And usually as you do, you'll find a spot that's sore or tender. And if you don't find it right away, just inch your roller around until you find it. You will. And then you're just going to rotate towards your chest and back towards your back. If it's really sore, support your head. If it's not much of anything, keep that arm straight so you'll feel that and you know that you're in the right spot. But if it's real tender, you can support your head, which will take a little bit of the pressure of your body weight off of that roller. Rotating in and rotating back. Let's get a few more deep breaths as we continue the rotation. Like for me there, I just got some nice depth. I'm going to take a big deep breath right here, and then I'm going to rotate forward and back again. And now I'm going to take it to the opposite side. So I'm going to rotate over so you can see what this looks like from the back of the body. I'm going to find that target point. Now for me, right side is a lot tighter. I'm right-handed. That makes sense. You may find the same thing. And you're just going to rotate forward towards the chest and then back towards the back. Find the spot where it's tender for you. Should be just below the armpit. Move slowly over it. Breathe into it. Consciously visualize that muscle and think about relaxing it. I'm going to hold here where I found a tender spot, this little knot. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. And then I'm going to forward and back again, moving towards the chest and towards the back, gently massaging the area. And now I'm going to come back to centering my back on the roller one more time and rolling through from the base of that rib cage all the way up to the base of the neck, tops of the shoulders. And then let's come into relaxing the muscles of the neck. So come all the way up here, and the roller is going to end up underneath your neck. Push your shoulders right up against the base of that roller. Arms are going to come out to the sides, and your back is completely resting on the floor. All we're doing here is rotating our head from side to side. As we rotate our head from side to side, you can push your skull, base of your skull, into the roller and get into the occipital part of the head here, those tight muscles right there where your neck connects to your skull. Again, this is simply massage. So you're just rotating from side to side, gently pressing the muscles into that roller, creating a massage along the base of your skull. Take a big deep breath right here, come all the way to one side. And then take it all the way to the opposite side, same thing. Rolling through at your own pace from side to side. Now turn your head like you're looking over your shoulder all the way in one direction, gently pushing the base of your skull into the roller. From here, let's go to the opposite direction. Look completely over that shoulder, pushing the base of your skull into the roller. Take a breath. Bring it back to center. From here, bring your chin down towards your chest. And then push your chin all the way up towards the ceiling, pressing the base of your skull into the roller. And then repeat. Chin to the chest, chin to the ceiling. And then from here, no pressure, just side to side, gently rotating, allowing the weight of your skull to do the work here. And then from here, you're going to take the roller, gently pull it out from underneath you. Bring your knees to your chest. We're going to roll up to seated, and we're going to get a nice stretch here. So come into a seated position. Lift your chest, walk your hands forward, come as far into a forward fold as you can. Let your chin fall to your chest, let your feet fall out to the sides, and just relax in this forward fold. We'll get a few deep breaths right here. One more breath. We're going to slowly roll our way out of this. We're going to step our left foot over the top of our right thigh, sit up super tall, come into a twist, look over that left shoulder. Let's come back to center. We'll do the same on the opposite side. Sit up nice and tall, turn, look over the shoulder. Get a big deep breath. Exhale, bring it back to center. Nice straight legs. Inhale, reach all the way up, interlace those fingers. Turn the palms up, pull back, get a breath. Exhale, lean forward, reach for those toes. Relax your head, get a breath here. Slowly rolling up, and we are done. Hopefully you feel a little bit better now than you did before we started. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Have a wonderful day.